Hey Witcher fans, it's StrangeLuv here, and I'm back with another Witcher 3 gameplay breakdown. And for this video, I'll be analyzing the 35-minute gameplay demo that was released to the public during Gamescom. Now, I know I'm a little late posting the breakdown of this gameplay, but I figured it's better late than never since there's still a lot of interesting stuff to point out in the gameplay, and I'd like to know your thoughts on it as well. But since I already did a breakdown for the first part of the gameplay, I'm just gonna pick up where my last video left off. And if you didn't see my last Witcher gameplay breakdown, go ahead and click the annotation on the screen so you can go check that out, but just make sure you come back and watch the rest of this video. Alright guys, without further ado, let's get into this gameplay. Alright, so in my last gameplay demo breakdown, we left off talking to Johnny, or rather talking at Johnny, about obtaining some information on a woman with ashen hair. But before Geralt can get any information from Johnny, he has to first make a trek up this hill in search for Johnny's missing voice. Now, as you can see at the top of the hill, Geralt encounters a group of harpies, which calls for Geralt to bust out a ranged weapon, and in this case, it's the newly appointed crossbow. And apparently the crossbow is also named Gabriel, which is most likely the name of the craftsman who invented the weapon. Now, we've seen Geralt use the crossbow in the Griffin Hunt gameplay, but this time we see that when Geralt aims the crossbow, it goes into a sort of bullet time, allowing Geralt to focus his shot on the enemy harpies, which is a little bit different from what we saw before. So I really think this crossbow is going to come in handy for a long-range weapon option for Geralt, and I'm wondering if it'll maybe have some customization options as well, so we'll have to wait and see. And as Geralt sort of admires the scenery here, it's important to mention once again that this world is going to be massive. So, for example, to get to this area with Johnny here in No Man's Land from Novigrad, the developers had to use the newly implemented fast travel system, because it would have taken a good 20 minutes or so to travel to this area from Novigrad on horseback. And according to the developer commentary, Novigrad is 14 times further than that tree over there in the distance. So basically, this world is going to be huge, and for the most part, you can traverse all the land that you can see, which is pretty impressive. Alright, so Geralt just looted the harpy nest and found a shiny metal jar, which most likely contains Johnny's voice, and apparently harpies like to collect shiny things, and you know, can you blame them? But now Geralt has to deliver this loot to Johnny with the hope of getting some information on Ciri's whereabouts. But first, we're in for some fecal conversation, so let's see what Johnny has to say.
Here.
Whiskey! Slither! Ringworm! Rubbish! Bumblebee! Flabbergasted! Ha! The sound of it!
Done celebrating?
My favorite words! Life without savoring the sound of surreptitious shenanigans is like licking snails through a cloth. Thank you for this, noble whoever you are. Long be your life.
Hang on a minute. I helped you, now you help me. I'm looking for a young, ashen-haired woman. See anyone like that?
Did I ever? Remember it as if it were yesterday. Soon as I woke, I went to empty my bowels. My favourite part of the day. Defecating to the sunrise. Downright glorious. Suddenly, heard a bang. So loud it couldn't have been me. And that lass appeared. Out of nowhere. Young, ashen-haired. Just like you said. Wounded and panting to boot. She raced off towards the children's huts. Quick as if the crones were after her. I yelled some unpleasantries. She disturbed my morn. Sadly, I'd lost my voice, so I don't think she heard me.
Maybe whoever lives in those huts will know something.
Oh, that old hag don't speak to strangers, and you're a stranger.
Will she talk to you?
I have spoken to her, got my ways. So be it. You helped me, and I'm no bore. Come with me.
I just had to leave that conversation in there. Johnny and his high-pitched voice and his love of defecation is just too funny. Alright, so in return for Geralt helping get his voice back, Johnny has agreed to help Geralt find some more information on Ciri. And so he's gonna take Geralt to this sort of orphanage in the swamps where he last saw her, and hopefully the old woman who lives there can help provide some more information. But first, what the F is that? Let me rewind it and show you again, and listen to the roar of this creature. It's roaring, stomping its clodhoppers, and it looks like it likes to wander dangerously close to the swamp village. Now, it's kind of hard to see, but to me, it looks like the Fiend, which is a monster that we've seen in some of the trailers. Also, notice that the HUD has this new icon in the corner, and right now it says Fiend with a little picture of the monster, and this icon will actually change later on in the gameplay. So I'm going to infer that maybe this icon lets you keep track of the most recent monster you are hunting, probably so that when you use your Witcher sense you can know which monster the tracks belong to, just in case maybe you get all caught up in side quests and then when you go back to monster hunting, you won't be like, wait, what was I tracking again? But that's just my observation on that, and hopefully it makes sense. Anyway, let's get back to the gameplay.
Good. It's clear. Not a crone in sight. I need to sing to Gran. That ought to calm her. Little Johnny softly gazed at fire waning pale. Pop! A spark jumped out and whispered, "Listen, I've a tale."
You got your voice back.
It is, though I seem to have lost an octave somewhere in the process. I shall look for it when I get home.
You're not allowed here, Johnny. You shouldn't have come.
Calm down, Gran. Don't get angry. It's not good for you.
The woman I asked about earlier.
Forgive me, Gran, but this fellow absolutely must talk to the ladies.
No, she's not allowed.
Please, it's important.
The fellow will be quiet. Gran, please hear me out. I found little Yagna when she got lost, did I not? Did I break Jenny's fever too? I did. I ask anything in return? No. Didn't even fuss about my stolen voice. Well, now I want something. Gran, help this fellow. Because otherwise he'll pester me day and night, even during potty time. His lass is missing. Perhaps the ladies can help find her, eh?
Well, since you put it that way, Johnny, I'll help him. Come with me. Johnny's a good lad, though the ladies don't like him. No, foul creature, they say. Don't like him.
Who are the women in the tapestry?
Those are the ladies. Ladies lovely, with power o'er all, beseech I thee, answer my call. Before you a worm crawls, wretched and small.
How dare you disturb our rest, woman?
I'm looking for the woman with ashen hair. I know you met her. Where is she?
Oh, he's impatient. Perhaps he only likes ashen-haired girls.
It's clear you met her. Tell me everything.
That was blunt. Well, perhaps it's for the best. Tell me, have you got bollocks? Do you fear woodland beasts?
Oh, hard times are upon us, white-haired one. Brother has turned against brother. The land is soaked in blood. Evil reigns stronger than ever before.
A dark power has surfaced near Down Warren. It feeds on hatred and disdain. Destroy the beast, and we will be grateful. Tell you all we know about this ashen-haired maid.
Dark power? You need a knight-errant or a witch hunter, not a witcher.
The alderman of Down Warren will tell you all. Remember to collect payment from him after you complete your task. And now our servant will bring you the dagger.
I'll talk to the alderman, but I can't promise anything.
Move, woman! Give the young man the dagger.
And you wait one. Return only once you've completed the task.
Aye, mistress, right. On me way. Dagger. Gotta bring the dagger. The dagger. For you. Lady told me to give it you. Here it is. The dagger. Place the alderman's payment on the stone. Stone there. Stone shear. Stone nose. Stone ears.
Alright, so a lot happened in those dialogue scenes. First, I want to mention that the song that Johnny sings to Gran is apparently a Polish children's lullaby called Bajka Isierka, and if you're Polish, feel free to correct me on this, but from what I understand, the lullaby mentions a mythical woman called Baba Yaga, which will become important to note later on in this gameplay. But for right now, Geralt has to talk to the Alderman of Downwarren at the request of the Ladies of the Wood, who we've only seen in the tapestry so far. And on his way to Downwarren, it looks like Geralt runs into some random bandits out here in the swamps, giving him a chance to once again show off his skills with the signs, as well as the lovely dismemberment physics. Now, I also noticed that whenever Geralt gets into a fight, this little streak of light starts to circle through his body, so I'm thinking maybe this is their new way of restricting your menu access while in combat, kind of like how the edges of the HUD turn red in Witcher 2, but I'm not sure, so let me know what you guys think this is. Now, in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip ahead here. Basically, Geralt makes his way to Downwarren and talks to the Alderman, who tells Geralt about an evil power that causes the villagers to sleepwalk out of their homes, and later they're found dead in the forest, so he asks Geralt to cast off this evil spirit at the Whispering Hillock, which is where Geralt is headed to next. And as Geralt is running through the swamps here, I'd like to point out something that I only just noticed recently. So if you look up in the left-hand corner, apparently running causes Geralt's endurance bar to go down, which is interesting, because normally his endurance drops when using a sign or sometimes when blocking, but it was never an issue when you run. So now it seems that we have to factor in running into our energy management, and this could really add an interesting dynamic to combat. So what do you guys think? So after fighting off some nasty looking grave hags, which is pretty much how I look every morning, Geralt has almost made his way to the Whispering Hillock, where he encounters an ominous voice, as well as a werewolf who's apparently not having a very good night. Also, now that Geralt has encountered a new monster, notice that the icon I mentioned before in the corner has changed to say werewolf, which to me confirms that this icon has something to do with monster hunting or monster tracking. Even though Geralt just killed the werewolf, it turns out that Geralt's mission to kill the evil spirit is not over yet, so he heads to a nearby cave to find the source of that ominous voice in the form of a blood-red tree spirit, who attempts to plead its case.
Why have you come? Why spill this blood? Are you here to grant me death? Or is my freedom your wish?
You claim to be imprisoned. How so?
I am bound here in fetters of magic. I wandered endlessly, a labyrinth of leaves. The children, I know all. I know what awaits them. Free me, please. I must help.
If something threatens the orphans, I'll help them myself.
The children have been taken. Free me, please. I can be a gale, a gallop unchained. I shall save them. Only I can.
Now, if you're familiar with how ethical decisions tend to play out in the Witcher series, then you'd know that Geralt often faces many morally gray dilemmas, and that some seemingly corrupt characters are not always as untrustworthy as they may appear. I personally would rather save this tree spirit, or at least would want to inquire about the crones and the dangers that face the children, but in this gameplay they chose to fight the tree spirit, which I'm sure is for the interest of time, and to avoid spoiling too much of this quest in the demo. So let me know how you would have handled this situation in the comments below.
I don't believe you, Spirit. Too many claim you're evil. Your words alone, not enough.
Dare harm me, and against you will rise all the powers of nature.
After taking out the tree spirit, the Alderman of Downwarren is conveniently waiting for Geralt outside the cave.
Solved your problem.
They just have a few matters of payment to sort out before Geralt heads back to the Ladies of the Wood.
There's payment. Take it to the ladies, will you?
Why'd you cut off your ear?
Put it out your mind, Master.
Alright, in this last scene we get to see the debut of the mysterious Ladies of the Woods from the tapestry, and they're not exactly what Geralt expected, to say the least. Suddenly, calling them crones makes a lot more sense.
Sheathe your weapon, young man!
He's even lovelier in real life.
In real life, you're different than you were in the tapestry.
Well, bring it here. You are to bring it, not ogle it.
Our deal. I did my part, now you do yours.
A word once given, we never break. The girl. Mousy blonde. That's what they call it.
Thin as a rail, terrified, exhausted. She could barely stand, the poor thing.
We cared for her as best we could.
Like she was our own daughter.
Wasted affection. She proved a very naughty girl.
Mischievous. Stubborn. And selfish.
She burned me.
Don't believe you. They say you always keep your word, so tell me everything, exactly as it happened.
We shall tell you, brave boy. We knew someone special was to arrive. We read beast entrails, saw the omens.
We would glimpse her likeness, a mirage in a puddle. She came from the lower swamp.
We knew not at first it was her the omens had spoken of.
A child of the elder blood, the sown seed that will burst into flame.
She fell into our hands.
Elder blood! The blood of the traitress.
So, after the reveal of the quote-unquote ladies of the woods, it seems pretty clear that this quest was inspired by the mythical character Baba Yaga that I mentioned earlier. And in Slavic folklore, Baba Yaga is usually described as this old, deformed woman who lives in a hut in the forest, and is sometimes depicted as a trio of sisters. So this seems to be a pretty obvious reference to Baba Yaga, which makes sense because we already know that much of the story has been influenced by Slavic culture. And after seeing children's body parts hanging off of these so-called ladies, I definitely think now that saving the tree spirit was the way to go. The last thing I'd like to note about this scene is of course the fact that we get a glimpse of Ciri. She arrived at the swamp through a portal, and it looks as if she's running from something, most likely the Wild Hunt. The crones also mentioned that she's the child of Elder Blood. Now, the Elder Blood refers to an elven bloodline that links way back to a powerful elven sorceress named Lara Doran, and long story short, Lara carried a magical gene that allowed her descendants to travel through time and space using, you guessed it, magic portals. And of course, Ciri is one of Lara's descendants who carry this Elder Blood. Now, there's also a prophecy in The Witcher that tells of how the child of Elder Blood will one day save the elves from annihilation, so that's most likely what the crones are talking about here. And in the crones' last line, they mention the blood of the traitress, which I assume they're referring to Lara and not Ciri, because Lara was scorned for betraying her elven race by hooking up with a human back in the day, in sort of a Romeo and Juliet type of dilemma. At least, that's more or less how things played out. So anyway, if you're new to the Witcher series, and if it wasn't apparent already, Ciri is a pretty damn important character, so I would advise familiarizing yourself with some of the novels if you're planning on playing Witcher 3 this February. Alright everyone, that wraps up this Witcher 3 demo breakdown, and I hope you guys enjoyed my commentary on the gameplay. I also encourage all of you to share your thoughts in the comments below, and to subscribe to stay up to date on all of my Witcher videos. Thanks so much for watching, stay strange my loves, and until next time, this is StrangeLuv, signing out.